What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Terry Maguire of Spite.pizza.pastry. Terry, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, how are you today, Rich?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so excited to talk to you. You were featured in one of our spotlights a little bit of time ago, and I know some growth and things have happened for Spite Pizza Pastry. For those that don't know, Terry, what is Spite Pizza Pastry?
I have an in-home bakery production facility. So I have a second kitchen in my garage, and I do wholesale and catering and pop-ups out of it.
How did all that get started for you?
I worked in corporate food production for a while, grocery stores, restaurants, and created a lot of recipes for places. So I've always been into it. And now I wanted to do it without anybody having to give me approval.
Did you always have a passion for cooking? Was it something interesting, or did the business just fit the model of you wanted to have some sort of entrepreneurial opportunity and this was the right business for you?
I've always cooked. I've always been in the food industry since I was 17. I worked in Wawa, and then I've always just cooked. I do a lot of the cooking at home. I did cooking when I grew up with a single father. So I did a lot of cooking when I was a younger person, take care of my sister and stuff like that. I have always cooked.
You know, you're the second person we have the opportunity to interview that has come through Wawa. Johnny Paisano was with Wawa, and it wouldn't surprise me more and more if more people didn't go through the Wawa system, whether you're younger as a kid. So that's very interesting. You got that basic understanding of business or some business experience.
Oh yes, and this was pre-gas, so it was like back when you're writing your books on actual paper or in an Excel spreadsheet, and now they got everything you can imagine, kiosks and everything.
Talk about what you do with Spite Pizza Pastry. What can people expect in some of the opportunities, how you cater, how you provide all your delicious foods for your customers?
So mostly I focus on tomato pies, soft pretzels, and desserts. My main desserts are brownies and like a cookie combination that I call a cronky. You could order it through me directly or through any of my social media, which we'll get to later, for parties big enough for a couple hundred or parties with 10 people. And I can get real specific. I do soft pretzels in the shapes of numbers for kids' birthday parties. I just recently did letters. I just did W's for a wedding reception. It was the last name, and that was over 100 pretzels.
You have so much that you do. And, I'm curious, what were some of those aha moments for you that you realized with your business you were on the right path?
I was doing a lot of stuff in the house already before I was licensed and doing it big time and just doing this for friends and stuff. And a lot of people are like, oh, you should do this or that, run a food truck, open a restaurant. And I've just sort of taken baby steps where I could actually work out of my house. And then my restaurant or retail center is wherever it needs to be.
With some of the things that you offer, you mentioned you're doing weddings and you're doing, some parties and things like that. You said you do things for up to 300 people. You can do a lot of different things. You're doing corporate catering as well.
I can do that. I haven't done much lately. Pre-pandemic, before I was even involved with it, I was doing it on my own. And then pandemic sort of hit when I was doing this. So I haven't done as much corporate catering because I do a lot more pop-ups at like breweries and markets. But I do a lot of catering more for families and stuff like that, or like barbecues and picnics and family reunion type thing.
So pop-ups, what do you have coming up through December and January that people can find you if they want to try some of your delicious items?
I am at Plank Fitness in Swarthmore on December 10th from 11 to 3 for a benefit for kids. And I'll be selling baked goods, tomato pies, and pretzels. and it'll be my main items, and I might have a couple surprises as far as galettes or bundt cakes.
We often have the pleasure of seeing you at 2SP. It's almost as if you're a regular fixture. I don't know if you sleep in the back or you're always there every time we show up at 2SP for the great beers.
Yeah, I don't have anything planned with them coming up, but I'm usually there as a customer as well.
How do people find you, or how do people find you so they can find out where you may be in person, or they can order from you directly?
The best way to get in touch with me is through my social media on Facebook or Instagram, and that's spite.pizza.pastry. And you can message me there, and then I can give you more information as far as menus. I also have an email, which is spite.pizza.pastry@gmail.com, and then I can send you menus that way as well.
I saw somewhere on Instagram a little bit ago that you were working on some sort of a mobile dispensary or a mobile food truck kind of a thing.
I did. So probably this spring, no later than the summer, I have a trailer, so I will have be able to offer more items than with the table setup that I have now. But that'll be a surprise. That menu will probably be released in February to March, closer to when I have the truck finished.
Well, I can't find out. I some of these surprises, I'm excited because here's what I say. You're amazing at what you do. And, if there are people in our listening audience who have never had what you provide, you just become a raving fan after that. I have a question, because we are listened to nationally and internationally. If somebody wanted some of the food, could you ship that to them?
I haven't gotten into that yet. I tried doing the soft pretzels one time and they didn't work out too well. I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no, because I haven't been able to make a product where I'm happy with it being shipped with the same. I'm big on quality, and I don't know. I'd rather not send it out and not be the same quality by the time it gets there.
Terry, that makes total sense, but you never know what you're going to be able to put together, and, keep tabs on your social media, because that announcement could come, next month, next year, who knows, right?
Yeah, probably in the new year. I'm real busy right now with holiday orders. You can get my galettes at Wolf's Apple House in Middletown Township on Route 452. It's over there by Granite Run Mall. So, I'll be real busy with that kind of stuff. You could check it out. I also deliver there on Thursdays through Sunday if you want to check out any of the stuff when I'm not at pop-ups. I do some breakfast items and the tomato pies and galettes and cookies and brownies there as well.
I think you also said for special this year, you're going to be selling some pies for Christmas, right?
Yes. And they'll be available at the Apple House, or you can contact me directly for a drop off if it's a large amount, or pick up here at my facility.
Terry, with all that you do, who motivates you? Who inspires you?
I guess my family, because they've given me a lot of support between my wife and my son. They've actually helped me out. They've been peeling apples for me, to help me out, because I was so busy for Thanksgiving with orders. So they've supported me because I'm doing this as a full-time job. I was working for the man, quote, and now I'm able to work for myself, and they've supported me totally.
Do you have anyone that you've seen, anybody in the cooking field or the business growth and development field that you look up to, mentor, or inspires you on that field?
Not anybody in particular, but I like Serious Eats, because there's a science behind the food that they're doing and stuff. It's not, hey, here's a recipe because it was my grandmother's or whatever. This is the science behind it, that kind of thing I like more so. So there's many chefs that are on there. Guy Fieri, he's just one of those guys that just seems like he acts like himself. I
get that too. I really feel that. And I've never met him directly, but I do, the people that have come in contact with him do resonate that he is that. And I think that's something you mirror. I've met you. you're who you are. That just seems, it resonates and comes through when you're busy at these events. That hey, you are who you are, and that's, I think, the other thing that draws people to what you're doing with Spite Pizza Pastry. You're a real person, just out there doing it every day and making people happy and filling their bellies and filling their soul.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. That's one of the best parts about it is when I'll get random messages on Instagram saying, "Oh, I had this at my friend's house," and I'm like, "Wow, that's great." Usually it's just the complaints, but I don't get, because I try to. Some of the people that I thought were going to be some of the worst customers, I took care of stuff immediately, and now they're some of the best customers. So, like. Either way, I like any kind of feedback. I'm not going to be too worried about it, positive or negative.
But I think you say, what you touch on is really important, that sometimes the way you handle, everything's not perfect, right? Somebody gets something that wasn't to their liking. You miss something in the bag when you give them. Yeah, they're all things that can happen, but it's an opportunity to make a long-term customer. And that's a great perspective to have when you see that.
Thanks.
Terry, you're out and about and you have a craving for a cheesesteak. Where are you going for a cheesesteak?
Geez, I usually just go to Delco Steaks because it's easy, but I usually make my own because I have a full kitchen in my house and I make my own bread. And my kid's birthday was a couple weekends ago, and I got some ribeye and sliced it down on the meat slicer, made the bread, and made them cheesesteaks for the night. So
you are making my mouth water. Thank you for doing that.
Fried onions.
I already know where you're going for pizza, so we don't even need to ask you that part. and I pretty much understand it. If you had a convenience store option and you were out and about, are you going to Royal Farms or you're stopping at Wawa?
Nah, I'm going to Wawa. Unless it's for fried chicken, because that's the Royal Farms thing.
How would you explain Delco to somebody that, you wanted to kind of give them an understanding of what is Delco?
I think of it as very blue collar. Like, I grew up in South Jersey, and like the blue collar part of South Jersey, not like the new McMansion Park thing that's going on. And it has a very similar feel to that. So I feel comfortable here. So if it's something like, if they get along with somebody like me, it seems like they would get a feel for what Delco is, or even the Delaware Valley type of feeling of person, because it's not that different from each other, even though we all talk crap on each other. I've been in Delaware County since 2005, and I'm still considered an outsider, and lived in Drexel Hill for over 10 years.
If you had somebody coming in from out of town, a friend, family member, and you wanted to give them or take them to have that Delco experience, what would you do?
Oh, definitely the first thing would probably be go to Wawa. But not the gas station one, the old one with no gas station and 6 parking lot spots where it's hard to get in and out of. That kind of one.
So you want to watch them struggle with a parking space first, right?
Yeah. And then just go to the different sections of Delco. Take them up what I call like the Delco Riviera. Go start out from Lansdowne and go up Baltimore Pike until you're all the way out by my way. You'll get a little slice of everything.
That sounds like a fun trip to experience Delco. You're the first person I've heard ever say the Delco Riviera, so that's pretty cool.
Or you can call it the Delco Main Line.
Delco Main Line. Okay, we could do that. Terry, this has been a treat. Is there anything that we haven't talked about on the podcast? Anything that we haven't gone over that you want people to know about you or Spite Pizza Pastry?
Not really, but yeah, just follow me on the Instagram and Facebook. I'm very open. Like, it's a lot of like double entendres and dad jokes and obscure pop references if you're into it, especially in the stories. And a lot of the names, it's like part Bob's Burgers, like with goofy puns and stuff like that for a lot of the items.
Well, I can tell you this, if, just following you on Instagram and you'll show some of the specials you have coming up or some things you're working on, it is delicious. And everything you make is just a little different. And that's fun. And there's always something great that you're offering. And if you haven't had a chance to make it out to meet Terry and have some of his products, definitely make it a point of something you want to do. Terry, thanks for being a friend of What's Happening, Delco. We do look forward to all the great things, the surprises you have coming up for 2023, and that new food truck-esque kind of thing you got going on with the hula girls. I don't know what you're going to be doing there, but it'll be a lot of fun, I'm for sure, right?
Yes, that'll just be me in the hula outfit.
Excellent. I'm taking pictures. Terry, have an awesome day. Thank you so much today.
Thank you.